How to fix Total War Warhammer Alt-Tab freezing and crashing. Welcome back to Teknobalta. We know how incredibly frustrating it is when Total War Warhammer randomly freezes or black screens the moment you press Alt-Tab. Our team has analyzed this widespread issue where task switching causes the game to stop responding and completely shut down. Today, we are going to walk you through a comprehensive, step-by-step master guide to permanently resolve this task switching instability. The most effective and immediately confirmed fix we found for this specific black screen crash is modifying the in-game display configuration. You need to navigate to the game's graphics settings and change your display mode to Windowed Fullscreen. As long as you do not experience a noticeable performance drop, keeping the game in Windowed Fullscreen will prevent the display driver from hanging during an Alt-Tab. If the in-game settings do not fully resolve the problem, our team recommends disabling full-screen optimizations at the executable level. Locate your Total War Warhammer executable file in your Steam directory, right-click it, and open the Properties menu. Navigate to the Compatibility tab and check the box labeled Disable Full-Screen Optimizations. Then click Apply. Sometimes, Windows restricts background resource allocation when a game loses focus, leading to a hard crash. While still in the Compatibility tab of the Executable Properties, check the box to run this program as an administrator. This ensures the game maintains high-priority access to your system memory, even when you tab out to another application. Display driver hangs are a primary culprit when rendering engines fail to resume after losing focus. We strongly advise performing a clean installation of your latest NVIDIA or AMD graphics drivers. Use a tool like Display Driver Uninstaller to completely remove old files before installing the newest driver package. Windows 11 and recent Windows 10 builds feature hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling, which can conflict with older game engines during screen transitions. Open your Windows settings, navigate to System, then Display and scroll down to Graphics Settings. Toggle hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling off and restart your computer to see if the Alt-Tab stability improves. Total War Warhammer allows you to force specific graphics APIs, which can drastically change how the game handles desktop switching. Open your Steam library, right-click the game, select Properties, and find the Launch Options box. Type DX11 to force the game to run on the DirectX 11 API, which we found is often more stable during Alt-Tab than DirectX 12 for this specific title. Corrupted core files can cause the game to panic when the rendering context is interrupted. In your Steam library, right-click Total War Warhammer, go to Properties and select Installed Files. Click on Verify Integrity of Game Files and allow the platform to re-download any missing or corrupted data. When you tab out, your graphics card might aggressively downclock to save power, failing to ramp back up quickly enough when you return. Open the NVIDIA Control Panel or AMD Adrenalin software and navigate to your 3D application settings for the game. Change the power management mode to prefer maximum performance to keep clock speed stable during desktop transitions. Memory spikes during task switching can overwhelm your physical RAM, resulting in the black screen crash. Press the Windows key, type Advanced System Settings, go to the Advanced tab, and click Settings under Performance. Navigate to the Advanced tab here, click Change under Virtual Memory, and manually set a higher paging file size on your fastest SSD. Third-party overlays hook into the game's rendering pipeline and frequently break when the game window loses focus. We advise completely disabling the Steam overlay, Discord Screen Share overlay, and GeForce Experience overlay. Test the Alt-Tab function again to see if removing these hooks eliminates the freezing behavior. Windows might be aggressively reallocating CPU cycles away from the game when you switch to your browser or Discord. Press Ctrl-Shift-ESC to open Task Manager, go to the Details tab, and find the game's executable. Right-click it, select Set Priority, and change it to high to ensure it survives the background transition. System-level instability during power state changes can sometimes be traced back to outdated motherboard firmware. Check your motherboard manufacturer's website for the latest BIOS update and flash it using a USB drive. This can resolve underlying PCIe bandwidth allocation issues that trigger crashes during rapid display state changes. Uncapped frame rates can cause the GPU to max out its utilization, leaving no overhead for the Windows Desktop Manager when you Alt-Tab. Go into the game's graphics settings or use your GPU control panel to cap the maximum frame rate to your monitor's native refresh rate. This overhead buffer often prevents the display driver from timing out. Mismatched refresh rates between your game and your Windows desktop can cause the screen to hang while trying to resync. Ensure that your in-game resolution and refresh rate exactly match the native resolution and refresh rate configured in your Windows display settings. A seamless transition prevents the black screen crash from triggering. If you are using a dual monitor setup with different refresh rates, the Windows Desktop Window Manager can panic during Alt-Tab. Temporarily disable your second monitor by pressing Windows key +P and selecting PC screen only. If the game tabs out smoothly, you may need to run both monitors at a unified refresh rate to prevent the conflict. A corrupted shader cache can cause the game to freeze when it attempts to reload textures into memory after restoring the window. Open the Windows Disk Cleanup tool, select your primary OS drive, and check the box for DirectX shader cache. Run the cleanup utility and launch the game to allow it to rebuild fresh, uncorrupted shaders. While game mode is designed to optimize performance, it sometimes aggressively suppresses background tasks necessary for smooth Alt-tabbing. Open Windows Settings, navigate to Gaming, click on Game Mode, and toggle it off. Test your game to see if removing this OS-level resource management resolves the freezing. Modifying the pre-rendered frames queue can sometimes stabilize the rendering pipeline during sudden focus loss. In the NVIDIA control panel, locate the low latency mode setting and turn it off, or adjust the maximum pre-rendered frames value. If you are modifying configuration files directly, ensure you use the correct syntax like D3D9. Max frame latency equals 1 to test alternative rendering queues. Aggressive real-time protection from antivirus software might scan the game's memory state exactly when it transitions to the background, causing a crash. Add the Total War Warhammer installation folder and its executable to your antivirus exception or exclusion list. This prevents the security software from locking the files during crucial window transitions. The game relies on Microsoft Visual C++ runtime libraries to execute core engine functions, and broken libraries can cause unhandled exceptions. Download the latest Visual C++ redistributable all-in-one package from the official Microsoft website and install both the x86 and x64 versions. Restart your system to ensure the fresh runtimes are actively utilized by the game engine. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.